As you guys know, I was disabled in a walker for several months and I had an accident, and I wasn't able to tell you guys anything about this accident because of lawyers. Well, at this point, we are going to desist from following that legal situation, and you guys are going to see the video eventually of how we got hurt and what happened. Today I'm just going to summarize it so that you guys, my audience, can have an idea of what's coming. Katie and I were heading towards Mississippi. We were going to do a tour of the Deep South, areas we hadn't covered in Mississippi. We drove all the way to Tallahassee, and I wanted to stay in Tallahassee, but Katie asked me to make it to Panama City Beach. We agreed on Panama City Beach, and we were arriving at the hotel right on the beach somewhere around midnight, late at night. When we arrived to the hotel, we were trapped in the elevator. Now, again, this happened almost a year ago, and the reason we haven't put this stuff out there is because the lawyers have asked us not to. While we were trapped in the elevator, which is for about 45 minutes, the staff had refused to call for help. They wanted to do the rescue themselves, and they asked me to try to force the door open. Unbeknownst to me, while trying to force the door open, I got a herniation. I was scared, and I forced the door open. When I forced the door open, or tried to force the door open by direction of the staff, I ended up getting a herniation. It was, you're trapped in an elevator, you're scared, and the staff tells you to try to force the door open, you're going to put everything you got into it. And I did. And in the process of putting everything I got into trying to force this door open, these doors are designed so you can't open them. They're stainless steel and they're flush. You're not supposed to tamper with. But the staff instructed me to do that, and I did it, and I got hurt. I didn't know I was hurt. We were obviously scared for our lives, and we recorded the whole event. Now, you would think that recording this event would make evidence about what happened. According to the legal teams that I worked with, and I worked with several legal teams, I'm not going to elaborate on which ones or who or how many, but we worked with several legal teams, and it turns out that if you have a legal case and you have it on video what happened, you might think that that legal case is now stronger because the accident is on video. But that's not how the American duodecimal system works. Okay? It turns out, let's say you're driving a motorcycle down the road and somebody blows a red light and hits you. You're wearing a GoPro camera. You have evidence of the accident. The defense is going to grab the entire footage of the drive, and they're going to say, well, let's say the accident happened towards the end of a 20-minute video. At minute 3, you drove your motorcycle through a stop sign. You were driving recklessly. Now, if you didn't have that GoPro footage, your case would now be stronger because the defense grabs any small thing you do on video and flips it on you and makes it towards demonizing the person who was victimized. And this is probably what destroyed the case value of my situation. I figured that because I had a video of what happened, that I had a strong case because it proved that they hurt me. It turns out that in the United States of America, the lawyers and judges, they don't want a video. If every crime that gets committed in America right now, and I know it sounds crazy, we think because there's cameras, I'm sure there's a camera right there. In this conference room right now, there's a camera. We think that that camera is there to protect you. Those cameras are not there to protect you. Those cameras are there to protect the interests of big corporations and insurance companies. And they're going to use it to demonize you and protect themselves economically. See, we have this notion in the United States of America that all these cameras that are around us are there to protect us and ensure our safety. But that's not the case. Those cameras are there to protect the integrity of the big corporations. Now, it seems absurd that if somebody hurts you and it's on video that they hurt you, that footage wouldn't have any legal value. But it can actually hurt you more than help. The entire legal system of the United States is based off of black and white ink and paper. But we're living in a society that's modern. Access to information, access to laws, access to footage of things that happen means that today, in real life, everything that we do is on video. But the legal system doesn't work on video. The legal system is antiquated, outdated, and they make millions and billions of dollars by the lack of evidence. See, this is where the legal system has failed us in the United States. The legal system is based off of black and white ink. However, today everything is on video. So why doesn't the legal system catch up to the times we're living in? Because there's so much money being made with black and white ink. Videos eliminates the necessity for lawyers. Today, if somebody gets hit by a dump truck at an intersection, it's on video. Now, if you have a video, lawyers, judges, courts, all this entire legal system that we have, complicated, expensive, that sucks 40% out of every legal case that happens in this country. If you win a $1 million verdict in a court, only 400,000 of that money is yours. 600,000 of that million is going to go to lawyers, courts, depositions, investigations. And even though it says, they're only allowed to take 33%, realistically, the legal system, if you make $1 million right now in a court, $600,000 of that goes to them, the courts, the lawyers, that legal structure. Now, if an accident happens and it's on video, here's a video, here's a truck, here's a motorcycle, here's a red light. The truck blows the red light, hits the motorcycle. What happened? The guy in the truck blew the red light. You don't need a lawyer. You don't need a court. All you need is pretty much a litigator to look at the video and say, okay, man, you hit this person. There's the video. That's what it costs to do that. However, this entire legal system is built on the notion of lawyer. They grab a case, and what happened with my case is that my case became so complicated that lawyers didn't want to defend me. Now, both, at least of the lawyers I dealt with, at least two of these lawyers told me that if my case was simpler and it didn't have video evidence, they would have got me the money. But because the video existed showing how I got hurt, it raised other legal questions about my motives, my intentions, so on. Now, I didn't know how I was going to hurt. I was scared. It was a scary situation. I didn't know how I would get hurt. But at the bottom of the line, the problem is this, that today in the United States, cameras are not your friend. Videos are not your friend. If there had been no video of my injury, today I would be looking at a massive settlement. But because it was on video, the defense will find any small cause they can. Let's say the speed limit on that road in that hypothetical motorcycle accident was 45 miles an hour. They would grab somebody that's an expert, split the frames per second and say, well, he traveled 150 feet in so many seconds. He was actually going 46 miles an hour. So now the reason he was injured wasn't because he was, going, it wasn't because the guy blew the light, it was because he was speeding. He was speeding by 1 mile an hour, but according to their calculations based on the video, they broke it down, examined it. Now he was speeding by 1 mile per hour faster. Again, the video evidence hurts you. Now, the reason that the legal system particularly doesn't want videos as well is because in those cases, the people that are being sued are not just being sued by you. They're being sued by 50 different people. And they have lawyers lined up that systematically work those cases for them. And the cases all look similar. So in the case of me suing these people, may it be the hotel where I was hurt, or may it be the elevator company, both of those agencies, the elevator company, which by the way has a monopoly on all the elevators in Florida, they have contracts that say that only they're allowed to fix those elevators. So they have a legal system lined up when hundreds of people get hurt in elevators in Florida. And when they get hurt in these elevators, they are already set up with lawyers to handle these cases. They know exactly what the problem is, and they like settlements. Because they like settlements, they don't want video footage. They don't want to document why they're giving you that settlement. Because that would create a paper trail for 150 people that took settlements that really they should have just fixed the problem. And they don't want to fix the problem. You guys remember with Ford, they had those Fords that were catching fire, and Ford Motor Company figured it'd be cheaper to pay everybody when they burned in the cars than it'd be to fix the problem for all the cars they sold, and that's what they did. And unfortunately, the legal system in the United States is flawed in this situation in that they look at not should we fix something that's hurting people, but is it cheaper to give somebody a settlement or to fix the problem? In the case of elevators in Florida, the answer is that it's cheaper to give people a settlement. But here comes this savvy YouTuber with a video showing exactly the evidence, and they don't want the evidence. See, the things that I do with my YouTube channel and the way I move is I show you things for what they are. And that contradicts the motive of the legal system, because the legal system in this country is not based off justice. The legal system in this country is based off of protecting the interests of big corporations. My lawyer told me as well, Jose, here's the problem. Even if you wanted to pursue this case, they are going to put so much money behind this that you don't stand a chance. And this is the problem now. Here's this multi-million, billion-dollar corporation that I'm trying to sue. Their legal budget is far superior than what I'm willing to. Even my local lawyers are like, hey, we can invest $50,000, $60,000. So sometimes when you have a legal case that's good, like my legal case is a strong legal case. I think these people owe me at least $1 million. They left me crippled. They ruined my life. Here's the problem. The problem is that despite the fact they hurt me, despite the fact they owe me this money, they're a big corporation. I'm a little guy. And the legal system, just so you understand, my lawyer told me literally, one of my lawyers told me, and again, I'm not going to elaborate on which lawyers I use and all that, and I use many lawyers. So one of the lawyers I talked to told me, Jose, the new law that Ron DeSantis signed in Florida gives you 2 years to file your claim. Now, you're already a year into this, and they're not replying the emails. They're not talking to us. They're ghosting us. Lawyers are also telling me that, and again, we're not specifying which ones because I use several, the same people who pushed Governor Ron DeSantis to put in this 2-year limit are the same people that are behind my lawsuit. These people lobbied the governor to put a 2-year cap on lawsuits in Florida. And I just got off the phone with my lawyer who told me and explained this to me. He said, Jose, the same people who lobby for Ron DeSantis to put in this law that caps this at 2 years are the same people who don't reply to emails. When you send a demand letter, they don't reply to it. So what these big corporations in Florida are doing is laws like the one that Ron DeSantis signed where, okay, you have 2 years, but dude, they're gonna push you to 1.5 years before they even reply to anything. And then they're not even gonna reply to your settlement offer. They're gonna force you to sue them. And at that point, lawyers have to evaluate the case and say, is this worth it or not? This is what's happening in the state of Florida. You need to turn that phone off. This is getting very annoying. I asked you to turn it off before the video, but you don't pay attention. Because you want to fight, Katie? You want some of this? Turn that crap off. What time is it?
2:48.
Okay, we got limited time, guys. We got an appointment at 3 o'clock. But basically, you guys are going to hear our story. You guys are going to know what happened to us. You're going to see the videos. And it's going to look like I have a lawsuit, but I don't. And the reason I don't have a lawsuit is because at the end of the day, there's a lot of things in the background. But predominantly, that law that Ron DeSantis signed was lobbied by people who are getting sued, and they're not replying to emails. They're hiding from the lawyers. So like right now in the state of Florida, if you get hurt in the state of Florida right now, boy, you're in a world of trouble. You get hurt in New York, the average settlement's $1 million. You get hurt in California, it's $800,000. You get hurt in Florida right now with these new laws that are on the books and the way that these companies are utilizing these laws, you get hurt in Florida right now, but you better have a lot of savings. You better have a lot of money. You better have a lot of money if you get hurt in Florida right now. Because what's happening is an injustice, but it's an injustice that these big corporations lobby to the governors and the people in law, create these laws that screw me and you over. And I've been telling you guys on this YouTube channel for a long time. I'm telling you, the state of Florida has become a racket for big corporations. The politicians are in the palm of their hands, and me and you are puppets. And when you get hurt like I did and end up in a wheelchair in Florida, you're going to find out that you don't have any rights. You guys are going to see some great footage because we're going to talk about all these things in the coming months. And those people owe me $1 million, but you know what? They can keep their $1 million. You know, a lot of times people say, I believe in karma. You're not even a Hindu. Why do you believe in karma? You're not Hindu. Why do you believe in karma? You don't even know what you're talking about. Injustice has happened. And injustice means that somebody did something that was unfair. When somebody does an injustice to you, it's unjust. It's unfair. There's no compensation. A lot of people, well, I believe in karma. No, there's no karma. That's a Hindu. You're not even a Hindu. Okay, you don't even know what you're talking about. An injustice and an injustice. An injustice puts you at odds and you lose. A lot of people like to tell themselves psychologically that if an injustice happens to them, that the other people are going to pay for it or nothing like that. Legally in the United States, if an injustice happens to you, you're screwed and they're making money. And